everybody. Welcome to Open House. Today we're going to, today we have with us our editorial team. We have our copy editor, Charity Chukwu.
Got it.
We have Selena Seabrooks, one of our reporters, and another reporter, Diane Xavier.
Hello.
How are you ladies doing today?
Good. I'm glad that the beautiful spring weather is upon us.
Yes, I'm excited for it. I think people get spring fever for a reason, and it's either because you're excited about the warm weather, or for me, it's just that in-between weather. It's not too hot and not too cold. But it's Texas. You can still depend on weather to change, throughout the seasons. Anyway, our first, each week we have a question for our team to answer, and in honor of Women's History Month, we actually have a two-part question. And the first part is, tell us about a woman who has made an impact in your life. And the second part we'll come back around real quick, but first let's focus on that, and we'll start with Charity.
Okay, the one who has made an impact in my life used to be my mom, because we are very close growing up, but right now it's transferred on to my second oldest sister, Ala. She really helped me out in my 20s, and currently now, as whenever I was moving from town to town trying to find my way, she would always have a spot or an open room for me to crash on and just kind of figure out my situation. I always go to her for advice. She always kind of grounds me and reminds me of the reality of situations and helps me think through things. And I really appreciate her as a human being, as a sister, and especially as a friend.
Older sisters are awesome. Selena.
I would say that would have to be my Aunt Janice on my father's side. She was the first doctor in our family in education. And with me currently working on my dissertation, soon to be a doctor before the end of this year, she has mentored me. She's answered questions for me and just been there as a guide for me. So I've looked up to her since I was a child. I saw that she was a doctor, and I've always wanted to be a doctor. So just knowing that I have somebody that close to me and my family who I could see as a role model, she was just everything for me, still is.
And Diane?
I guess I'd have to say my late mother. She was independent. She was a breadwinner of her family. She grew up in poverty, and she still took care of her family even when they were married. So, in addition to her children, which included me. And so she gave me freedom, and she never over control me when it comes to men, even though she should have. But, she just let me have because I know other mothers are way too strict with their daughters. And so, but yeah, it would have to be my mother. She was just independent, strong until her health got poor. And she fought till the end.
So she still showed her strength even when she was not feeling well.
Yes, and so tribute to her.
What about you, Robin?
Mine would actually go way, way, way back to my fourth grade teacher. At that time I was living in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and my third grade teacher was the opposite of a great teacher. And I hated going to class, and it was just miserable. But when I saw, her name was, the fourth grade teacher was Miss Love. She later became Miss Jackson. So I, anyway. But I still refer to her as Miss Love because I love the name. And, and that's how I knew her. But anyway, Whenever she saw me in the hallway before I even went to class, she, would always uplift me and make sure that, that I knew that she couldn't wait to have me in her class. And, she just made my day every time. And so when I was finally in the fourth grade, I think that was my best year. I really thrived in that class because of her. She was always saying something to make me feel like I could do anything. So I always tried to live up to how she saw me. Anyway, so, I always appreciate her for that. And I know there's a lot of awesome teachers out there. So I hope that they know that they're making a big difference in the lives of their students. And the second part is give us 3 words that you want people to remember you by when considering your legacy. And since I went last, I will go first. And I would say my 3 words would be God-fearing, talented, and agape love, however you want to say it, but just pure love. Because everything I do, I want to do with love. And so, Diane, what are your 3 words? Oh, Diane, you're muted.
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. My 3 words I want to be remembered by is I was a fighter, I was persistent, and I was nice and sweet. I'm a fighter because I've been through a lot, and I'm still fight, and I still won't give up. So, being a transplant recipient and overcoming all sorts of health problems, I'm still fighting, and I'm going to fight every day till the end. And I know we don't know where the world is headed with all this coronavirus, war, climate change. So I'm thinking, I've got to give my best life, live it, and give back. So those are the 3 words I want to be remembered for.
Okay, and Selena.
I would say family, because my family means so much to me. Adventurous, because I'm always willing to try something new, go somewhere new, do something new, meet new people. And then I would say fun.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and everybody seems to match. So I think y'all really know yourself well. So that's always good. Next, we're going to talk about the articles that
What about Charity? We want to know her 3 words.
Oh my gosh, did I miss you? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I feel like I just know her so well. I just know what she's going to say. I'll tell you yours. Oh my gosh, Charity, go ahead.
I was like, wow, okay. Moving on. I'd say the 3 words that describe me would be joyful, reliable, for the most part, and thoughtful. I really try my best to make sure that I'm considerate of everyone's thoughts and feelings, and when I'm not, I always take that to heart and try and do better next time.
Somebody have some music going? Oh, okay, it's your background. Okay, I understand. You're not at home. Okay, so now we're going to move along. I'm sorry, I know we're on we're trying to keep things moving along, so I did not mean to skip Charity at all. So next we're going to talk about the articles that we've written for over the last month. And last month we had a couple of things going on, but anyway, right now we're going to focus on, let's start with Diane this week. Diane, you have 2 minutes. What did you write about in the last month that is noteworthy to you?
For the month of February?
Yes.
Well, I wrote an article about breast health for the African American females. It's called Know Her, Your Story. Basically, your health, and it's not just, it's for all ladies, especially women of color. I mean, they're the last to tend to, I don't know, for whatever reason, fear or lack of information, to really get tested for breast cancer screenings. I mean, sometimes you got to do more than just a regular mammogram. You might have to do an MRI if something seems unusual or out of place. And it was very educational, and it really opened my eyes, because I'm 41 and I'm getting yearly mammograms, and I haven't thought of getting like further testing. I thought that might be smart, because we're all at risk. So you never want to just, blow something off, especially when it comes to your health. So you got to be your own advocate. So basically what the doctor in that story, a female doctor, breast cancer or breast health doctor, said, was be your own advocate. Because, people can blow things off. Even some doctors can, oh, it's not a big deal, but no, it is. Your health matters. So that was, and then also the Black History Month.
Oh, we're doing that next.
Oh, sorry. You did 2 articles in February, so I thought.
Yeah. And I would encourage people to read it, because it is packed with information. And we always think we know, we hear so much about breast cancer, we think we know, but when it comes to breast health, I don't think we actually have enough information, and the science is always changing. Selena, what did you write about last month?
Okay, so the article I chose was my Maxwell article, of course. The title was Maxwell to kick off the night tour in Dallas, Fort Worth. So first, let me just say that I was just super excited to get this assignment and to actually have the opportunity to interview Maxwell, because I've been a huge fan since 1996 when he released the Urban Hang Suite. And when I say I have not missed one of his tours since then, I have not. So during this interview was just like the cherry on top for me. We completed this interview in anticipation of him kicking off his tour in Dallas, the night tour. He performed there yesterday. So for those who got an opportunity to go through it, I know you got an opportunity to see a really great show. He was joined by Joe and Anthony Hamilton, which I know is just a real treat. In the interview, we talked about his new single titled Off, which is a real beautifully sang ballad. And we talked about the inspiration behind that single. We also discussed his upcoming album, Black Summer Night, which is going to be coming out, he said, either spring or summer of this year, which he's pushing for. So we talked about that, and this album will actually bring to close the trilogy that he started back in 2009, which we also talked about what that meant to him. He spoke on his longevity and the role that his fans and radio played in his career. And then we rounded out our discussion talking about his expanded collaboration with State Opticals for a limited edition sunglass collection. And he talked about how he combined that collaboration in order to give back to the community. So the night tour has 25 stops. If you didn't get a chance to see it in Dallas, I strongly encourage you to see it in another city. I actually got tickets to see his show next weekend in Atlanta. So he's an amazing performer. So trust me, you will not regret it. And to read the full article and to learn more about what Maxwell has going on right now, just go to our website, DallasExaminer.com, and read the full article.
Definitely. It's a great article. Excuse me. It is a great article. I learned a little bit more about him, and just kind of his train of thought, because it's interesting when you look back on somebody, an artist, and why they wrote something, or and I know that his trilogy is titled interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So, excuse me, my sinuses or my allergies, whatever, have decided to come and join us today. And as Diane said, we also worked on our Black History supplement called Black History, Dallas Then and Now, which gives you a kind of synopsis of history in Dallas each year. Trying to pull it up real quick. Oh, hold on 1 second. I gotta do something real quick first. Okay. So our Black History Dallas Then and Now is actually available. There's Maxwell. is actually available on our website. And as you see, along with our other ebooks of our weekly newspaper and our college guide. So, and it's just this simple to go to, just one click and you're right there. So looking at that real quick. Sorry. If you look inside, and where of course we're not going to read it to you, but I do want you to know this picture, first of all, is an actual photo of slaves on an cotton farm in Dallas. And so the article actually goes back to the 1800s and talks about slavery in Dallas and well, as well as Dallas County. It picks up different parts of articles that we've already printed that have talked about slavery and, you know, how farming, about farming during slavery, as well as after they gained their freedom and, or, you know, learned of their freedom, and how they they used the same, you know, farming techniques to start their own farms at Freedmanstown. Some of them owned their own farms, and that sort of thing. And it gives a few facts about, you know, what they were farming, and which, you know, even though cotton was, you know, the main thing for Texas, wheat was actually very common in Dallas itself. So just, you know, just a few facts that we may or may not have known, but I learned a lot just doing the article. And then the next one is kind of bringing the past and tying it in a little bit with the present. And Charity's going to tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, this is an article written by our reporter, Mike McGee. And, sorry, Mike McGee. Am I saying it right? D or G? But it really just basically tells of the history behind farming, especially like the cotton farming in the area. Professor, how she would zoom in on this. I gotta look through my Black history.
Professor Friedman.
Yes, Professor Friedman. Essentially, he has his own farm, and he talks about, you know, where we were in the past and how we got to gaining control of our own farms and kind of the history behind it. And he is a professor himself, so he wants to educate the youth and make sure that they know the knowledge of it, and, you know, continue it on for, you know, future generations. So I think it's pretty cool. I think you should read more about that, see kind of the history behind cotton farming. I think you'd learn a lot.
And then next we have Selena's article that kind of talks more about how farming is being used in the community today. Selena?
Yes, so for this article, I got an opportunity to speak with Taylor Toynes, who is the CEO of For Oak Cliff, and Ples Montgomery, who is the executive director for Oak Cliff Veggie Project. And let me tell you, these two gentlemen are doing some amazing things in the community. The article discussed how these two men partnered together to fill a need for fresh produce in the Freedman community in South Dallas, which is considered a food desert, which by means that basically a substantial number of the residents in that community do not have access or have very limited access to fresh, affordable, and healthy foods. So hence the creation of the 10th Street Community Garden. In the article, we talked about how these two gentlemen have partnered with members of the community to provide food distribution of the food that's actually grown in the garden to the people in the community who are in need. And they grow some of everything. It's not like you're a little small. They got kale, all types of peppers, and all types of produce there that's made available for those in the community who are in need. I would say one of the biggest things that I pulled away from this article is that not only are they using the garden to help feed the community and provide the community with healthy options, but they're also using the garden to educate the community about gardening and showing them how to actually grow their own gardens, whether this is just in your windowsill in your kitchen or on your balcony. They're giving out lessons, and they talked about the various workshops that they host there to help the community. So again, as Robin has showed you, I encourage you to go to the website, pick up the e-version of the article, and give it a read.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. You know, I'm the main one that's always like, turn your phones off. And I thought my phones were in another room, so I apologize for that. So sorry, I'm trying to get back to the last screen. Okay. So, but thank you for carrying on, Selena, despite my rude phone. So, and the last article is actually Diane's article, which actually brings a little bit of, it talks about, the present, but it also talks about the future of gardening, because, we're talking about, young people learning, tending garden. But go ahead and talk to us about that, Diane.
Yes, Paul Quinn College converted their football field. They got rid of the football program due to lack of participation. I think it was back in like 2010 or something back in that day, and they converted to a community garden where they can grow vegetables like a farm, and tomatoes and other vegetables. And students work on the farm. They learn about farming, planting, and they have many vendors and business organizations buying their food, such as the Dallas Cowboys organization, who use the fruits and vegetables from the We Over Me farm at Paul Quinn to supply AT&T and Stadium during football games. So a lot of the food is used to feed the community and the fans and business executives. And the food is really good, because I've been to the games there in the press box, and all that food, the vegetables and stuff for the salads, are coming from the We Over Me farm community garden, which is delicious. And I think it's great because the guy in charge of the farm said, our resources are limited today. There's a shortage in our food supply in the US. So the best thing to do is grow your own garden, learn how to do that. And you'll learn how to, work with nature. And Paul Quinn is located in a federally designated food desert, meaning there aren't many grocery stores with fresh produce. All you see is fast food places like chicken, places, taco places, just not enough healthy food options. And when they do have grocery store, it's so limited. they don't have the fresh produce. So Paul Quinn College is trying to combat that by feeding their own community in that zip code by growing their own farm and produce to feed the
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful that they do have it, because it also teaches the young people, the youth, how to farm, and in case they want to get into farming, you never know, or grow their own garden, and which they recommend that if you have a house, try to or even if you haven't live in an apartment, you can do it inside little mini garden, which going back to Clarence Glover, also known as Professor Freedom. He always talked about, growing your garden, so you can have, little control over some of your food, and eating healthy. And so we have a couple of his collard green recipes. Well, one is a recipe and the other one just talks a little bit about how to cook your collard greens. And so, and then of course we have a list of farms that have Black farmers or managed by Black farmers in the area, and as well as community gardens that serve the area. And that's very important, because that means, even though you don't have, even though you don't have a little garden in your own area, you can go to a community garden, or a farmer to market garden, farmer to market, and get healthy fruits and vegetables. So anyway, so be sure to read more about Dallas's Black history and the farming and gardening, our past, present, and future, on the Dallas Examiner website at dallasexaminer.com. So anyway, I'm trying to look real quick to make sure that we don't have any attendees that wanted to chime in real quick. Anyway, we sure we covered everything. I think that's going to be actually everything. I do want to remind everybody that even though our numbers for COVID are going down, immunization is going to be the key to tackling this disease. Make sure if you're 5 and over that you do get vaccinated. Very important. That's what I was trying to remember. March 10th is National Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. So, go to hiv.gov and or the Black AIDS Institute and learn more about AIDS and HIV and prevention, testing, and management. It's very important. There was a time when we didn't know that much like COVID, and people were getting all of the wrong information. And to my surprise, there's still a lot of wrong information going around. So please make sure that you're educated about HIV and AIDS, so that we're doing the right thing. And, the earlier you know, the better it is, so you can actually tackle the disease. They're making remarkable advances in treatment. So other than that,
well, I just wanted to add something real quick.
Go ahead.
In addition to getting your booster shots or COVID shots, if you haven't gotten it, the doctor's offices, like I'm a transplant recipient, they're offering like this injection. I forgot what it's called, but it's like an infusion to where your body can build up the antibodies, so you don't get a second case of coronavirus. Right now, it's only available to at-risk patients. Like, and for me, I'm 3 years out transplant, so I'm not immediately, it's not, available for me, but it's now they opened it up to the elderly, 65 and older, or those that have immediate risk. So those are the two groups right now. And my nurse told me right now they're out of supplies because it's in high demand. So if you're 65 and older, talk to your doctor about that. It's just this one injection, and it helps build up the antibodies to fight off a second infection of COVID. Because, we know so many variants are going on. So,
Yeah. So do everything you can just not to get it. I know so many people have had it and they're still dealing with the symptoms. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and close out. Don't forget to visit us at DallasExaminer.com, download our app on Apple or Android smartphones, follow, like, and share us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and Pinterest. We also have an email list. So if you want to be on that list, then I believe we have a link on our website, but if not, you can always email me at newsdesk at DallasExaminer.com, and subject email list, and I will add you to our list. If it's not on our website, if it's not on Facebook, then we'll put it on Facebook soon. Look for it on our website soon, so that you can just join us with a click. I think that's everything. Join us next month as we talk about all the great things that are going on in March. Also pick up a paper each week this month to, we're doing a series of Black women in history. We'll talk about it more next month, but you'll want to actually have the articles in hand, because these are phenomenal women that have made a huge impact in our lives today. So anyway, see you next month on Open House on April 7th at 6:30. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.